Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Rimworld. And we are, let's see, everybody's just waking up, and in the last episode we got our power running, got our refrigerator up and going, and in this episode I wanted to make sure that we get a research bench up and going. And also, I want to thank Noble Rambler for reminding me that you can go into your stove and in details you can set a minimum cooking skill. This is something I used to do, and quite honestly it's just not anything I've done recently, and kind of totally forgot about it, so thanks to Noble Rambler. And let's see, I need to check before I set that and see which skill level I can safely set that to. So I got a cooking level of 10 for Fio here, and I've got 3 for this guy. So we don't want this Doug guy cooking any actual foods. He can butcher, but we don't want him to cook. So what we can do is we can come into the bills and we can set this to a minimum skill level of 10. And that means Doug can no longer go here to work. In fact, I believe if I... no, maybe not. I was thinking that if I right-click on it, then it would, okay, yeah, actually it does. See? So I can't right-click on it because he's not a good one, so same kind of thing with Rex. Can't right-click on it. So I can't prioritize it for him. But now, on the other hand, I should be able to do this and tell him to butcher. Of course, we don't have any materials, so it doesn't really matter. Now, I think I want to look at this. Unfortunately, yeah, that's what I thought. I was thinking or hoping maybe in Alpha 13 they had put in max cooking skill, and that could have been kind of cool to actually restrict down so that, you know, I don't have my really good cook butchering stuff all the time, and I could just have Doug doing all the remedial butchering and making of dog food. But we can't do that, so we'll just let that sit. We'll let anybody butcher who can butcher. Okay, so let's see about getting a research bench up. Now, technically we need some more rooms too. I'd kind of really like to put my research bench in this area, but I guess I could put it up here. That might work out okay. And then put my communications bench somewhere down in this area. So let's see, how are we fixed on materials before I do this? We got lots of steel, so we will build a steel one. And this one doesn't actually require any power, if I recall. So let's do... I think, let's see. Whoops. I am hitting that R button again, trying to rotate it. I've been playing Banished way too much. Let's do, let's just put it right there. Done. Decision made. Because we'll end up building another research bench anyways that takes power, so it's not that big of a deal. And if I'm not mistaken, I think once you have the normal research bench, I mean the advanced research bench up and going, you can get rid of the old research bench. Not positive, but I think we can. It's not something I've actually tested. We'll get rid of that. And these guys, good work. They are cutting wood. And what are our strawberries doing? Okay, they're not growing yet. Now, to my knowledge, they don't need watered at all, so the rain doesn't really do us any good. The only thing rain really does us any good for, as far as I know, is putting out fires. Let's see. Kind of think it'd be a really good idea to have some more power up and going. You know, geothermal would be the way to go, but that's going to take the advanced research bench, so it's going to be a little while. Let's do another windmill, I think. Okay guys, I just realized that I had been muted, so there might have been a decent cut there. But we got the research bench put in, and basically I went with stone cutting. instead of microelectronics basics, because the stone cutting will allow us to get some really good materials built that we might need, so stone blocks to do some building, so we don't have to keep using all this wood and we won't have to use metal. And I'm going to pause, and then after we get the stone cutting in, then we'll go for the microelectronics, which will allow us to get the advanced research bench. And we've got a raid, and thankfully I'm no longer on mute, so let's see. Oh, he's going to be launching like right here. Okay, so first thing I want to do is I want to get Doug. He's melee. You just get in here. I'm recruiting these guys, basically, is all I'm doing. Recruit, and I want you guys to actually, let's just let them stay there. They both have a rifle. Hopefully they will start shooting in the right spot. And I want to make sure, this is something I never did before, and it's something I needed to do. Whenever I don't want any of them dogs following around my trainer, so I'm setting their master to none. Otherwise they'll kind of follow them around, and if you go and recruit, so if I was to recruit Theo right now, then what would happen is the dogs would follow him into battle, and I don't want that to happen. They've not been trained to fight or anything, and I may not even ever do that, so that's something I want to make sure I don't have them do. I don't want them to get killed easily. Now let's try this, and I think with any luck they won't hit this. Go. Okay, so Roughchild, get out of the way. Run. Let Green sit there and just keep shooting. Actually, get up here. Move. Move. Shouldn't be this difficult. There we go. Got him. So, her to go rest. Roughchild. Green. Done. Go do whatever you want to do. Go ahead and unplug this, and we don't really want this, but we can sell it, so we'll go ahead and take that too. And he didn't really drop anything else for us. Let's take a look at Roughchild here really quick. Some trivial blood loss. Got some cuts, not too bad. Should be able to heal from that without any problem. Rex here is not the best hunter in the world, apparently. It took him a long time to take down that turtle. And let's see here. We're keeping decent temperature, but not completely, so I'm going to lower the temperature on this down to 28 degrees. And if you remember, we're venting heat out into the open because this is an unroofed area, but all we gotta do is close this back off and make it a roofed area, and then the vent, and then we can open this vent and pipe heat back into the building. Now eventually we'll want to put in some vents for all these rooms, but we'll hold off on that for a little while. I don't know that temperatures will even get down to the point where we need the heat, so we'll keep an eye on it. And he is still training to haul. And does this guy got any clothes? He's got some pants. Tell him to strip him. And I'm noticing this. We mined out a piece there, so I just wanted to get that filled back in. And I should probably really think about putting in a couple of hospital beds, as well as maybe another room. Let's see. So if I was to do this, we're going to end up with a real skinny hallway and power running right through the room. I'm not sure that I like that idea. Power is currently running like this. The ideal way would probably be to come up here and across like this. We've got plenty of power or metal, so I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then once that's in, we'll tear this out. But I am going to go ahead and build a couple of beds and we can move them. And we'll use wood for now, I guess. And here, and I'll just build 2 for now. I also need to think about putting in a prison, and something that's changed in Alpha 13. So in Alpha 12, you could build a prison pretty much anywhere. I could just make this my prison, no big deal. Wouldn't have to worry about anything. The only way they're going to get out is if we let them out. In Alpha 13, they now actually have a mechanic where if I was to put them in here as a prison, they can get angry and they can beat down the door, and then they have access to the rest of my base. So what I've found in testing is it's often better to build your prisons out here away from your actual base a little bit. So either in another area, so like potentially like over here, assuming there's no ancient danger, or mining just a small area out just for them. That's a possibility too. What we got up here? Hey, we got some steel. I don't remember seeing that last time. Pretty sure it wasn't there because that's rich soil, and pretty sure we would have seen that. Now I kind of wouldn't mind hunting this boom rat while it's raining, but let's wait and see if it's still raining when our people wake up. How's Rough Child doing now? Whoops, Rough Child looks like fully healed, so good. No permanent injuries. Didn't lose an arm, didn't lose a finger or anything like that. That's good. Now let's see. So is Doug a night owl? He is not a night owl. But you know, I just recalled, we haven't set him up so that he can do whatever he wants. So we want him to sleep during certain times, and just like everybody else. And you know what else we don't have? We don't have anywhere for our animals to sleep. It was not very nice of me. Now technically they'll sleep anywhere, but what we really want is them to... Oh yeah, we do. We actually do. Never mind. We do have it. Whoops. Now what we do want is them to sleep in the same room and relatively close to each other. Supposedly that ups their chances of having puppies. Doug is asleep. Is she pregnant by chance? She is not. She might be too young to be pregnant. I think it said she was 1. Yeah, she's 1. I don't know if that might be too young. Okay, let's take a look at the power. Okay, so now that we have this, now what we want to do is come in here. Whoops. Helps if I click the button correctly. We'll do that. We'll get that deconstructed. It'll reclaim a little bit of our steel. We won't get it all back, but we'll get back some of it. And I think also, now that we actually have batteries and stuff going up, we should probably think about putting in some light. Don't necessarily need a ton of light, but we need some light. If they sit in a spot for long periods of time, they'll get tired of being in the darkness all the time. And that's not good. We've already got a psychic drone going on. Let's take a look here. Every colonist of the male gender winces in pain. So that's, I believe, 3 of our 5 colonists there. And yeah, so that's got to be okay. If I remember correctly, he's iron-willed here. No, iron-willed doesn't probably affect that, actually. Green is psychically deaf, so he should be okay. Theo is psychically deaf. And okay, I made 3 of my people psychically deaf, so we're actually going to do pretty good, probably. He's not feeling it. He's not feeling it. Child is. Oh, and while I'm thinking of it, Mr. Noble Rambler would like to be a colonist, so let's see, who are we going to make Noble Rambler? I think a cook would be a good idea just based on his tip. Problem is, this Theo here is female. So, let's see. How about Rex? And I gotta remember how to do this exactly. It's here. So go to character and you can rename here. It won't change their whole name, just their nickname. So we'll do Rambler. There we go. And I am also going to do a really quick save here. I'm going to probably do that frequently. Noble Rambler, as well as a couple of other people, as I've been watching other Let's Plays, have made mention that the EDB interface is still causing some crashes, so I want to make sure that that's not giving us any problems. And let's see, what do we want to do here in the way of... we got power. Doing decent there. We don't have a whole lot of else going on. We should probably think about putting in some turrets at some point, and a kill box maybe. Those would be really good. We haven't started researching yet. What else do I have him doing? I have him set to haul as well, so we're going to set that down to a 2. Hunting's okay, and the rest of this is okay. Cleaning would be a really good thing too. We don't really have anybody. We don't want him to clean. Let's go with let's set Roughchild to clean. It grows and plants, but that's not something that happens all the time, so we'll do that. We do get the autosaves going on, so that's good too. 57 indoors, but nobody's complaining, so I'm not going to be too terribly concerned about that. Let's take a look. The Psychic Drones... No, it's not affecting their health. That's right, it affects their needs. Psychic Drone, no effect, no effect, no effect, so that's awesome. Okay. Food is still not fully grown yet. It's not good. We really need that going. I'd like to do some more mining. Oh, here's something we can do. So we want to claim that and deconstruct it. That'll give us some additional components. Which we're sitting at 30, so we're not doing too bad there, but it'd be nice to have. And Rambler is up here researching. That's good. And I got Green constructing the lamps. And eventually I'd like to get rid of the stockpile too. I don't really want it in the middle of everywhere. Let's go ahead and set these as medical beds. Now, medical bed, I'm not sure if it gets a bonus from being a... Yeah, so from being a medical bed, it's going to get an immunity factor and a rest effective bonus, I think. So let's look at a regular one. 110 and 105 versus 110 and 105. That may have more to do with the fact that this one's a good bed. Let me see, do I have another normal one? Nope, don't have any more normal ones. Yeah, so, I don't know. Setting them, other than designating them as a place to get treated, I'm not sure if setting them to a hospital bed actually does anything until you get actual medical beds. Not sure. If you know, let me know. It's not something I've ever checked into, really. But I do like to keep a couple of them up and going just to send them someplace so the doctors can get to them easily. And got a table, yet this guy is... Oh, he's smoothing the floors. Okay, so that's good. And our windmills here are really not spinning a lot, so we may just not have a lot of wind in this area. And he is... Did he get the... I guess he did. I'm going to tell him to harvest these over here. Get some more fertile soil, that's kind of good. And I haven't seen where anybody has said like, here, let's do this. Or Doug, you come over here. I want to see if it says anything about being an ancient danger in here. I don't think there is. But if you get close and there's something in here, it'll tell you. Nothing. Nothing. Okay, cool. So, what I want to do is, then I want to deconstruct this. And he's going to eat. And Green's already got this reserved, so that's okay. Get that. And what do we got down here? Ooh, we got gold. That's pretty cool. Okay, so just so I don't forget about the fact that we have gold down here, I'll go ahead and take it. Gold's one of those hard to come by things. We may not use it for anything other than trading, but we're going to have it. Now, if you've played Alpha 12, you may notice right now that there's no trade beacon in here. And the reason for that is you have to get the advanced research station before it'll actually pop up. Electronics. You know, I'm thinking this would make a decent little prison for us. It's not that far away from our base, and I'll probably end up enclosing some of this anyways. Hey, sweet, our research is done. Okay, cool. So, as I said, we're going into microelectronics. Get that going. And I am going to build. Now, generally speaking, I'd like to have like 2 rooms for my prisoners, not put them both in the exact same room, especially with the changes. So, for now, I will build 2 beds in here. I will go ahead and build 3. But I'm going to move them out into their own like little rooms, their own cells. Solitary confinement for all of them. And I am going to deconstruct this. Maybe not that one. And we need to put a door. But I'd kind of like to put the door out of something other than wood, ideally out of stone. I don't know that I'll have enough marble blocks even when this is done. I don't think so. Probably have 20 of them, which means I'd have to close this too. And even still, that wouldn't be enough. So, here. So for now, we're gonna go ahead and we'll just build this out of steel. Then in. Oh, I can't set it yet because we've not got that going. I also probably need to claim this. There we go. Still is considered outdoors. Wasn't sure if it did. Go ahead and cover it up. We'll get those built. Kind of what I think I'd do is like maybe make a door here, wall, come up this way, and give them basically like a 4x3, something of that nature. Actually, 1, 2, 1, 2. I guess it'd be a 3x3. That would work. And we got an eclipse. So it's a good thing we built another windmill because that solar panel is not going to do us any good. Here we go. We should be able to set these as prison beds, and once we did one, it did it to all of them. So that's good. Now what we really need is somebody to come and haul this stuff. What's Doug doing? Smoothing floor. Prioritize hauling. Now, in the short term, I'm not too concerned about the fact that we just have a 1-room prison, but eventually we will be. Line that too. Is that all wall? Nope, it's limestone. Alright. What else do we got going here? Need somewhere to bury this guy, because I bet observed corpse. It's not a huge problem, but problematic enough, and we're not going to be butchering our guys, so keep in mind. Now, if you notice, I can't build them like right in this area. You can't build a grave on rock. You can build a sarcophagus on the rock, but that requires steel or other material, and I don't want to deal with that right now. So we're going to go with normal graves, and I'm just going to put several of them right here, right above our prison for now. If you right-click on the little messages over here, they'll go away. And let's see. Still missing out on some simple meals here. And we don't have enough food for them to cook with yet. These are getting close to being harvestable, so that's good. Anything we can hunt. Ooh, how long's he been dead? Spoils in 1 day. We should be able to do with that. Doug, what are you doing? Smoothing floor again. No, you're hauling the grizzly bear. I'd be curious to know how the grizzly bear died. Let's see if we can find out. Infection. So he must have got attacked at some point in time. Developed an infection. And let's go ahead and hunt that boar too. And we do have some berries here, so we'll go and get those. Chunk of spacecraft has fallen nearby. Ooh, how nearby? Its definition of nearby and my definition is two different things. That is not that nearby, so we'll probably just let that be for now. We will go there eventually. And that's all the gold we got out of there, but we did get some pretty good chunks, so that's good. And there's at least a little bit of an open area back here. It's difficult to say how much. It may just be this little area. On the other hand, it could come all the way up in here, and that could be kind of cool. Or it could be extremely bad. Any of these get built yet? Did. Green, what are you doing? You're smoothing the floor. Nope. Bury the corpse. And then, let's see. Are any of them droid deprived still? I mean, we did get in this horseshoes, so he's uncomfortable. Why is he uncomfortable? It's soft to sit on around here. So, I don't think I've ever seen him have that problem, so I guess he's wanting a cloth chair. I don't know that I have enough of any particular thing. I don't. So, we can't get him a soft chair yet, but we'll keep that in mind. Yeah, we'll do wood. Now, where do we want to put this? So, ideally, it would be placed near wherever the stockpile is that it's going to have put, but I also like to keep it inside. So what we might want to do is actually enclose off an area. I could just put it here and put a door, I guess. So I don't want him to have to go all the way around out in here. Another option would be is I could build a small room over here. That's not a bad idea. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, I like that idea. And we'll get this going, and then I'm probably going to call it an episode. Not sure how long we've been recording. We'll do that. And we will put in a wood door right there. Still keep this on the inside, and then what we'll do is we'll keep a stockpile for, let's do this. I want to have like a small stockpile for chunks, but only certain kinds of chunks. Let's see, what do we got to work with here? We got limestone, we got sandstone. So limestone and sandstone for the most part. So since we already have some in here, what I'm going to do is make this one limestone. Whoop. Limestone. And make it critical. Not critical. Let me take that back, because if we make a kill box, we'll want it to be critical. So we'll make it important. And I'll explain that if we come to the kill box, what I mean by that. Let's see, I want to haul these, and I should just put them all right here. And then we will have another area where we're storing just the where we're storing stone only. I'll just make it right here, I guess, for blocks. If I can remember where they're at. There we go. Blocks. Now I don't care what kind of box I put in there. We'll put whatever we want. And then I'll probably put a sculptor's table in here too, because they'll use the same kind of stuff. So, yeah. So, not a ton done in this episode. I did have a phone interruption in there, so I'm not sure how much that's going to cut out. So, this may be a short or a long video. Not sure. We'll take a look. So, we'd set up our cooking, though, so that only people with a skill of 10 or more can actually come in here and cook. We may adjust that later. As he butchers, as like Doug butchers, his cooking skills should go up, I believe. He's passionate about it, so I think butchering will count. And let's see, we got another windmill in, and got a prison set up, and we buried the body that had been hanging out in our refrigerator since the beginning of the episode. And yeah, and oh, I'm gonna pause. So before we leave here, we got a heat wave that has started. That's not good. We're not prepared for a heat wave. So I'm gonna end it right here, and in the next episode we're gonna get this stone cutting up and going, get this wall built, but more importantly we're gonna have to think about putting in some air conditioning in through here. Vents I was talking about, as well as some additional coolers, because all this is going to be able to do is pump heat at the moment, and we don't want to pump the cold air out of here into the rest of our building, because we need to keep this locked off. So I think that's going to do it. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you again for the next one. Thanks.